Please confirm in the comment section. So I am live both on Facebook and YouTube. So the people who are watching me, first of all, confirm if I'm audible. Good evening, Kanu. How are you? Today we'll be discussing about the essay writing section for GMAT and that too for. So basically ISB application is about to be there and we need to, the people who are preparing or aspiring to be a part of ISB need to start writing their essays. Well, how many of you are applying for ISB? Oh, that's great. Okay, so the certain tips and tricks which I have been guiding students from quite a long time now to how to write essays and statements of purpose for different B schools across the world, and I'll be using my experience and telling you what all things we need to write and we need to avoid for having a beautiful and a proper essay. Specifically for ISB, in this session we'll be having more sessions like this. So let's start with the first thing first. Basically, the normal, I would say, if you're looking at some B school, be it any B school, ISB or any other B school, so you should start preparing your essays at least 3 months before the application. That is something which should be done. If you haven't done it, no problem, but that is the most, I would say, the apt time. Why? The reason is simple. There's a lot of things and you basically are a human. You must have done a lot of things in your life, there are a lot of personal experiences and professional experiences, and if someone asks you, tell me something about yourself, you won't be having enough answer, right? And you keep on thinking, okay, I have done this, I have done that, all that stuff. It recently happened with me that I was chosen for an award function and they asked me to write a blurb, kind of an introduction about myself, and when I started writing it, I felt okay, it's okay, I can just give them the introduction, it's not a big deal. But they were after my life for 7 days. You have to write, send an introduction, and I was like, okay, why do you want it so early? But then I realized while writing that whatever things I knew and things that I did, they are not documented anywhere. So when I started documenting them, it was a lot. And I was allowed only 200 words. That is one of the examples from my life. The similar examples can be from your life as well. And that too, if you are writing a complete essay, which has, like 400 words for one particular question, that is a lot of words. And you must have done a lot of things. So start writing each and everything. And the first iteration, I would say, the first iteration is you have to know that you're a human and you have done a lot of things. So just blurt out anything that you have done in your life on a piece of paper. It can be 500 words, 1000 words, 2000 words, 3000 words, whatever. Just keep on writing that. Keep on writing. And I'll also give you some prompts of the essays of what things we need to write. And so someone asks you, okay, introduce yourself. A very basic question, which is not an essay prompt, but a very basic question. Introduce yourself. And introducing yourself is something which is going to take a lot of thought, because you're not just a robot. You have emotions, you have perceptions, opinions, you have different kind of belief systems. So all those things should be able to portray your personality on a piece of paper, and that too in limited time frame, limited words. So whatever you have done, just note it down, write it everywhere. And once you have written all of that, you will be looking that you have written almost 5000 words. So tell me something, if any one of you have started writing it already and you have more than required words, now you're not sure that what has to be done. Hi Manisha. So out of those 5000 words, let's say I'm saying 5000 words and we need only 500, we have to cut down our essay by 90%, right? Only 10% should be there. It once happened, with I think Winston Churchill. So he was asked that, okay, come somewhere and deliver a speech because people want to listen to you. And he was like, okay, when you want me to come? So they said, sir, we have a date 1 week later. He said, 1 week later? No, it's not possible. If I have to speak 1 week later, I would be requiring 3 months. And they're like, oh, how is that possible? So the other date is 20 days later. And 20 days later, so he said, okay, in that case, I'll be requiring a month. And they're surprised. When they're reducing the time frame, he is also reducing the time of preparation. And then they said this third date is 3 months later. And he said, okay, I'm ready right now. I can speak right now if it's 3 months later. So, see, the thing is, whenever you have a lot of resources in terms of time, duration, number of words, all sorts of resources are limited to a certain extent, then you need more preparation. And if it is, you don't have any limit, you don't need any preparation. That is the iteration 1. Because there is no limit and no deadline, nothing is there, nothing can limit you, there's no inhibition. So you write each and everything, whatever you know, just write it over there. Is that understood, everyone? Tell me in the comments. The first iteration, is it understood? Here I'll be talking about 3 different iterations, but normally what happens, I have seen people who have written their essays 10 times, keep on glorifying it, keep on editing it, and keep on doing it for 10 times, 20 times, 30 times. It keeps on happening. But the first iteration, we'll be talking about only 3 iterations, and it can keep on changing. It is not a fixed thing. It is something which I have come across from the combined average of all the people I have trained or guided. So 3 iterations are enough, and you can just have iteration 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, and so on. That is possible. So let's take, for example, if someone asks me, because I don't know you guys, so if someone asks me, introduce yourself, and so what I'll write? I'll start thinking. So I will write, I'm a practicing mathematician. I'll write that. Practicing mathematician. Wow. That looks like I'm trying to, glorify myself. Doesn't seem right. Nobody should talk like that, isn't it? So what should I talk about so that those guys know that I'm a practicing mathematician? First of all, India is a huge country, and we have a lot of competitions, and a lot of people are there who have done great jobs in their life. If you want to look different from others, the main thing is not this mathematician, that comes later. The main thing is practicing. So I should show the practice that I have done throughout my life in becoming something which can be termed as a mathematician, right? So I would say, when I was a kid, I was very much interested in looking at the patterns that clouds were making. I could see faces in the clouds, and I could also see that some faces are different. All faces are so different. There are 8 billion people in this world, and everybody has got a different face. How is it possible? So many variations in just the facial structure of that only humans. So that is something which was a kind of as a kid, it was very weird for me, right? It is very weird for me. How can someone, if that someone is God or nature or whatever, any engineer sitting like that starman in the sky, I hope you have listened to that song, have you? There's a starman waiting in the sky. So that starman, probably he has created so many different faces. How did he do it? Now this developed in me that I should actually look at the patterns and how the patterns are made. So probably there is some kind of ratios are there. Ratio between the eyes and the nose and the chin, ears and the eyes. The different ratios, and the starman is just trying to manipulate the ratios to create new facial structures. Even a variation of 0.1 units, or let's say 0.1 percentage, whatever unit is there, can create an entirely different kind of face, right? So that is something which which allowed me to think more, and that is something which allowed me to and motivated me to study mathematics more than other people do. Do you get that? So this is something which is in iteration 1, but at the very same time, it is not about just using the words which are used for just creating a small term impact. You have to actually feel like what you are. Jayant says practicing bodybuilder. If you say practicing bodybuilder, that won't look good, right? It would be a tall talk. So again, you can start like, okay, I was a kid, I watched movies of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I watched Terminator, I watched all that stuff, and he had this biceps and all, and whenever I went in the gyms, so they had posters of him, and they were they call it Arnold curls, you know, the kind of exercise, all that stuff I was going through, and then I realized, so you can just focus on Arnold or probably some other bodybuilder or maybe some kind of warriors whom you must have watched in some movies or literature or wherever. So that is something which involved you, attracted you towards certain aspect of life, be it profession or personality, and that is what you did. And slowly and steadily, you never would be using this term, practicing this. Okay, so I think I am clear. Jen, they won't be asking about that. It is just an example. If the prompt is, you have to introduce yourself. So how you do that? Because the prompts can be different. The essay prompts can be different from, it is not fixed always. I'm just giving you an example. So tell me, everyone, I think this is clear to all of you that how you should be introducing yourself if you have some quality which sets you apart from other people. Similarly, you can talk about your beliefs, you can talk about your empathy, you know, you can talk about your, you won't have to say I'm empathetic, sympathetic soul, not that. They don't want to know that. They want to know whether you, the things that you know about yourself, those things are actual or not. So reality is the key over here. Always be truthful to yourself, and then only you'll be truthful to others. This is so that the first essay which talks about your introduction in any way is basically a mirror to your personality, which can be shown to others as well. All right, is that clear, everyone? That is iteration number 1. And of course, I just gave you one example. There can be many, and you may end up writing 5,000 odd words. This part is clear to all of you? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. Let's go to iteration number 2. Clarity of ideas. So, in iteration number 2, there is one thing which happens. When you write something, you majorly mess up with the ideas, the flow of ideas, the thought of ideas, how thoughts should be portrayed, what is the flow of thoughts that should be there, the chronology of thoughts. So you don't have to, you know, start creating a non-linear kind of movie or storytelling. No, that's not required. It should be a chronological sequence. In case there is something which is connected to your previous experience, you can just put it over there. So the ideas of the clarity of ideas, this means that we have to respect the chronology. So what event happened after what event and why that happened. Chronology, reasons, I hope you are noting this down. The valid reasons should be there, that why this chronology is suitable and how one thing led to another in your personal and professional life. Chronology, reasons, at the very same time, your future goals. With respect to your career, the career can be, now we can have different kind of careers. We can be some kind of professional analysts, consultants, or probably we can be entrepreneurs. We want to start something. We want to venture capitalists. We can do a lot of things, right? Probably we can just go to do something in management, study management, and after that we become a management guru. So there can be different things which we can do. Now, these future goals, if they have a different prompt, different essay, different question for goals, your short-term and long-term goals, in that case, you can just extend the idea. Otherwise, even if you are just introducing yourself, there should be a clear thought about your future goals, and you should not talk much about it. that should be talked about only when they have a specific question on future goals. But these things actually must be kept in mind. I just gave you one example, the introduction part. So there, these things must be kept in mind. The future goals must be very much clear, and why these goals are there, it will automatically have a reason, because you have already told everything about yourself in the essay, that when I was a kid, I saw this, I did that, and that is how you have proper reasoning behind everything that you want to do in your life. Moreover, when you were young, kid or adolescence, or you were in school or college, at that time, you were just trying to explore things. Now, when you have explored 10% of things and you want to, and you want to explore whatever is left, that should be there, that should be reflecting in the essay. What I mean by that, that the curiosity and the hunger to learn and to acquire new kind of idea should always there. So you should be open to thoughts. So the openness should be there in your ideas. That is what make your ideas clear. So you have learned a lot of things, and now you want to learn more, because that is what is required to pursue what you want to pursue. I hope it is clear. That will come in iteration 2. So automatically the 5,000 words would reduce to 2,000 words. All right, is that clear? Then comes iteration 3. Iteration 3 is all about grammar and some kind of literary hygiene. So when all your thoughts, all your ideas are put in a picture perfect way in front of on a paper, after that there can be some kind of goof ups, grammatically or in the sense of hygiene. So iteration 3 should be all about that. You should check this. Moreover, there's one thing which I'll talk about later in the session. When you check the grammar, it's not just the grammar, I talked about literary elements as well. So there's one thing called vocabulary, and vocabulary can sometimes become verbatim. There are few people who feel like they are from convent education, they want to just glorify their vocabulary, and they want to use a lot of verbatim terms, management, scale up, all that stuff. So when we do that without knowing the exact meaning and significance of that word, you will end up losing something in your life. So do not try to be verbatim, because that is something which will just put the readers off. This is very important. Alright, so whatever words you know, don't just try to glorify that, because they need a clear cut. So any essay which is in simple words but very clear would be rated more than an essay which has got big huge words but they don't mean anything, because once they are combined, it's just an randomly scattered data. It's not a proper information. So I hope you are getting that. These 3 iterations are important. Now once you have done all of that, what next has to be done? You need to send your essays to different people, different professionals, different experts to get a feedback, and you'll start iteration 1, 2, 3 again. So this loop keeps on going until you have a proper essay in your hand. So listen to professionals. The professionals, there are different kind of professionals. One is the person who knows how to write essays, people like me, and send it to me. There are some kind of people who have passed out from that B school, and they already have this idea and already have that experience. They can guide you. That is second kind of professionals. The third is the person who is different from your own professional or academic background. Now why I say that? See, let's take an example. Kopal, what is the profession? Kopal, Amardeep, Tanya, anyone, you can tell me. So let's take someone is let's say fashion designer. All right, a fashion designer, that is the education, that is the profession, all that stuff is there, and this person knows something about fashion, or a lot of things about fashion which other person might not be knowing. Malvi is an architect. Malvi must be talking about trusses and that all that verbatim terms, all the technical terms from architecture background. And once the person who evaluates the essays might not be from your own domain. That is very much possible, isn't it? Right? That's very much possible. Jayant is a gym trainer, and it's very difficult to have someone from the gym background in the evaluator panel, isn't it? So always try to send your essays to someone who is not from your own domain, because that will be the exact feedback which should be taken into consideration to write a beautiful and a proper essay, right? Because you have to sound neutral, you have to sound, you need to write something which is understandable by each and everyone. That is why we need three types of professionals. Is that clear? So in the comments, tell me what three kinds of professionals I talked about. Be quick, tell me in the comments. Shobik, you can improve your English by reading a lot and talking in English to your people, to your friends. Yeah, Neeraj has answered that already, Saurabh's query. So tell me in the comments, be quick. What are you waiting for? What three kind of professionals did I talk about to whom you should send your essays before finalizing it? Well, now let's go to the next part of session, and that is some prompts. We need to discuss about some prompts. The first prompt is provide an honest portrayal of yourself, emphasizing your strengths and weaknesses, highlight the key elements that have shaped your personal journey, give relevant illustrations as needed. Kanu, that's right. Others are just waiting to someone to write that. Okay, so here the certain keywords. See, they talk about honest portrayal. Honest is a keyword. Now, how would they know it is honest or not? Anyone? Come on, let us make this interactive. How would these guys know whether you are being honest in your portrayal or not? Tell me in the comments. The other is emphasis on your strengths and weaknesses. That is there. And then key elements that have shaped your key element or shaped your personality is also the keyword, and then relevant illustrations they require. All right, cool. So how would they know whether you are being honest or not? So I was discussing about this thing. If you have actually felt something, if you actually claim to be someone, then your thoughts, your actions, and your learning should be aligned to that. I gave an example of practicing mathematician, right? So they would automatically know whether you are being honest in your portrayal or not. Always try to do that. Honesty, even if it's not written, it should be there. So, and they have given it properly. So you understand this part. If you write something just for creating an impact without meaning it, they would get to know automatically, because this is a prompt. Honesty should be there. Apart from that, to write such an essay, strengths and weaknesses. Now that is why I asked you to plan your essays 3 months before the application. Why 3 months? Too many things have to be known about yourself. So there is a thing called SWOT analysis, which must be done. Because this will help you in writing a lot of essays. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Here they have asked for strengths and weakness only, but you need to understand these two as well. Now, if I ask you, what are your strengths? Then give me some examples of strengths, all of you, and also weaknesses. By the way, writing about strength is, I think, very easy, because people always think highly of themselves, isn't it? That's right. In Hindi we say अपनी बुद्धि और दूसरों का पैसा हमेशा ज़्यादा लगता है. So we'll always write good things about our strengths. But the problem is, we talk about the weaknesses. Here comes a kind of very weird thing which comes when someone is asked what their weaknesses. People tend to become very coyish, try to become very cute, and somehow try to look, kind of that they are great people, but somehow they're very emotional, and that is why that is why they're not able to do things that they want to do. So for example, Jayan said, my strength is patient. That's good. Around the goals, very good. Jayan, I trust people very easily and prioritize them before me. That is the weakness. All right, prioritize them before me. So good. See, when people say I'm emotional and that's my weakness. By the way, being emotional is not a weakness, it's a strength. Emotional vulnerability is a weakness. Understood? Kanu, exactly. Critical thing is both a strength and a weakness. So what I'm trying to tell you over here, you should choose a weakness which is in you, which should actually, look like, which can actually be improved upon, right? If there is something which can be improved, for example, you say, okay, I'm a kleptomaniac, right? I'm a kleptomaniac, so what is kleptomaniac? I just go and steal things without needing them. Of course, that weakness would not be good to look at. So you should choose the weaknesses very carefully, and you should be honest about it, and the weaknesses should be something which can be improved upon, and also at the same time, you should very subtly hint that you are improving upon them step by step. You're not a promise, okay, I promise I'll be improving upon them. No, but with subtle examples, you can just just tell in your essay that you are improving upon them, and weakness is just a part of humanity. So it would be there, but they can be improved. So this thing should be kept in mind. Key elements that have shaped your personal journey. When you say personal journey, it talks about personal attributes. The attributes like honesty, sincerity, integrity, and also being optimistic or being pessimistic, or being open to discussions, open to ideas, being an extrovert, being an introvert. All these are the key elements of your personality, and they would be something which will shape your journey. For example, if you're an extrovert, automatically you would be more confident in sharing your thoughts to others, isn't it? Automatically you will be having more connections. Automatically you will be known by more people. Automatically you will have better opportunities to be happy and to travel, to walk around. So that is something which can come being an extrovert. All these things can also come being an introvert. You're an introvert, so you tend to speak less and think more, listen more, see more, observe more. Probably you have become a person a person who knows psychology of others. You might be very good in operations, or let's say HR skills. So all these things, any kind of attribute that you have can shape your personality. I hope, am I clear? I'm clear, right? Malvi is ambivert. Majorly, Malvi people are ambivert only. It depends on what situations they are in, isn't it? So I used to think I was an extrovert, but slowly I think that I'm an ambivert. That is something which is there. We never really know. But whatever you write over there, it also depends on the phase of mind that you have. Moreover, there is one thing. What you're going to write over here is not the exact picture of what you're going to do in your life, because situations change. A lot of things will change. So your frame of mind at that particular time can change afterwards. It can also change, like you have written the essay, and when you actually go there, you might change. Your personality, your thoughts might change. Your frame of mind might change. So don't think about that. Whatever frame of your mind is right now, just write that only, nothing else. Let us look at one more prompt. Contemplate two distinct situations, one where you experience success and another where you face failure. Delve into the personal and interpersonal lessons you learn from these instances. Wow. So success and failure, okay, that is there, out there. The keyword over here, which some people can actually forget while writing, is personal and interpersonal lessons you learned. Well, so personal is personal. The name says interpersonal is when it is in between two or more people. That is interpersonal. Like a person, one to many, right? That is interpersonal. Or one to one is also interpersonal. But one itself, it's personal. Not really, Amardeep. Even extroverts can overthink. Overthinking is different altogether. From being an introvert or extrovert doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect your overthinking or thinking capabilities. So any kind of success, it can be anything, but because this is an ISP essay, it should be more about your professional experiences. What have you done in your professional space? Something, so it can be like, okay, I'll give an example. So let's say right now I'm working at iQuanta, and I'm more into academics, but there is something which is a bit away from academics, but it's part of iQuanta. I think it should be there, and I shared the idea, discussed the plan, made strategy, and did everything, and I got success, right? And there's some other thing which I did, I got failure. So in these two cases, there are a lot of things which I have gone through, isn't it? So I'll give you an example. Let's say we are creating this AI mock, which all of you know, we have AI mock. Creating this AI mock has its own set of challenges, right? So talking to agencies who are experts and pros in artificial intelligence, they are experienced or not, what kind of person of contact they have, who will be our person of contact, what all things we require. We need to design something by UI, UX or Figma, what design language we have, and that this is how we want things to look, you know, and simulating the exact platform, exact environment of the real exam. So all those things, that is our challenge. For that we require people, we require planning of people, you know, we require human resource planning. When is someone available, when is someone not available, when someone can be ill, any kind of contingencies, the budget issues, right? So this is basically the personal happenings which are going, and at the same time, a lot of people are there to whom we have to talk, be it creating a pact, signing a document, signing a memorandum of understanding, or hiring people. So all those things are there. So now you understand. I just give you one example. There can be multiple examples. In all the examples, when you do something, you actually have to walk through a lot of people, a lot of situations, and a lot of conditions. So this is something it is there. Well, you got successful. Once you got successful, what happened to your personality? You got more confident. Now you have the confidence that you can actually do more, and you'll be doing everything in a better way. And at the same time, if you give an example where you fail, in both these things, there are things which you have learned and things which you have unlearned. The things that you have learned, how it affected your personality, and things you have unlearned, how your personality changed for good. They don't want your personality to change for bad, of course. So how that changed for good. There's something which you thought are true, but those things were not actually true. Those things were not actually right things to do. So all these things must be mentioned in this kind of essays. By the way, I'm giving you homework. The first prompt that I showed to you, the second prompt, note them down, write your essays, send it to me, and I'll evaluate them one by one. All right? Let us look at the third prompt. Given your previous experience and future aspirations, how do you plan to use the PGP at ISB to fulfill your professional goals? It is not necessary for you to write this essay. Please use the space only if there is something really significant that you would like us to know. Something really significant, okay? So you don't have to just, you know, kind of beat around the bush in this. If you have something really significant, you should do that. For example, let's say you're an automobile engineer, or Malvi is an architect. Malvi, you're an architect, you are doing things, you have written about them in the first two prompts, essay prompts. But here, there's something significant that you have done, but that is not covered under the first two prompts. For example, you are, let's say, a great social worker, and you have been supporting a few charity organizations in India, across the world. In your weekends you do that, and that is significant because it develops your personality in being a better person empathetically, you know, and in knowing others, what they need, what they require. So that is something which has grown, not just because of your day job, also because you are doing something for the soul, for your betterment, for the spirituality that you have. If that is really significant, you can write about that. Let's say you tend to play music. You just were walking around and you saw some cafe and there are people around and you played music for them, you know, and that changed, that kind of made more friends. People started to know you, or probably you write something or you paint. So all these things which are really significant in forming your personality and significant in forming your future should be mentioned over here. If there is something, otherwise you can leave that. All right. So I want all of you, you have a homework to note down these 3 prompts and send me essays. You will send the essays to Neeraj. Neeraj, are you there? Please tell me in the comments, and Neeraj will just make a list of it and send it across to me, and I'll evaluate your essays. All right. Tell me in the comments. There's no interaction in this class. I don't know why. People who are specifically from GMAT course, they can actually, you know, talk something. Jayan, you can write the same situation. You share others, the proper GMAT guys, except Kanu, no one is interactive and no one is, I don't know what is happening. Be quick in sharing your thoughts. All right, let's come to the next section, the last section, that is do's and don'ts. What you have to do and what you do not have to do. Okay. First thing, this is basically a repetition of what I told you earlier. Just a minute. Do's. First, follow the iterations until you get a proper essay. Send it across, get the feedback, all that stuff must be done. Second, do not be too technical, because there must be people who evaluate your essay but not from your own background. Do's and don'ts. Okay. Third, do not be verbatim. Fourth, be grammatically correct. And fifth, this is very important, which a lot of people tend to do, avoid any kind of plagiarism, because nowadays we have enough software so that through which we can actually check how much plagiarism is there. 2%, 3%, 10%. If the plagiarism is more than 10% in some cases, in some cases 20%, it is considered to be totally plagiarized, and you might lose a lot of things in your life, because if you have plagiarized something, do not do that. You can take examples, you can take references, you can take inspirations, but never plagiarize content. That is not allowed at all. These are things which must be kept in mind, and hopefully this is the first session in this essay writing. Then the next session I'll evaluate your essays as soon as you send, and in the next session I'll be discussing the best and the worst parts of your individual essays, and that will help you a lot in refining your essays in future. So I'm waiting for that. As soon as you send that, we will have a session on that. Let's meet again. I hope you have learned a lot of things today, and let's and please start practicing all of that. Start writing your essays and sending it for feedback. Do that positively. We'll meet again next week. Till then, take care. Bye bye. If you have any question, just ask me. Thanks, Jan, for saying that.